Hey guys, and welcome back to Castle Crush. And today we are going to be playing with a Spectre deck here, a Skull Queen Skeleton Spectre deck again, and just seeing how good the Skull Queen still is. Not that there have really been any changes anytime recently, but this is always a fun deck to do, so I thought we would bring it back out again, especially with the Spectre. Now, this isn't going to be in double mana speed, so I can't really do the largest Spectre type of challenges. Rule of the Necromancer as well. I tried doing some double mana speed with the Necromancer again, but it's difficult to do those videos because a lot of people just use, decks to try and beat you very quickly, like Meteor decks in double mana speed. So that makes it kind of hard to really get some of the epic Necromancer type battles. It depends who you get matched up against, but you usually have to be pretty patient because there are a lot of people who try to win double mana speed very quickly with decks that have, like, you know, stuff to win it very quickly. Like I said, like Fire Elemental, Genie, Meteor, stuff like that with Gust of Wind, and they just try and hold you off and win by chipping away at your health. And as you can see here, pretty good match there. I was just able to not quite get it, unfortunately. Kind of fell apart there at the end. But largely, I found that the Skull Queen is still pretty effective, especially with the Necromancers, just because oftentimes, and Resurrection, just because oftentimes they don't quite have enough cards to clear all of it, especially if you're bringing it back over and over. Like right there, they were able to clear the Skull Queen twice, but then I get the Necromancer out and start doing more damage. And then I've got the Spectre, so it's like, can they get rid of the Spectre and the Necromancer? They get rid of the Necromancer. Or did they? Not quite. And at this point, I pretty much have them. So despite this person's taunting, that is going to be game over for them. And despite their Gusts of Wind, Boneyard is still a rather overwhelming card, especially with Skull Queen. But, you know, the skeletons being kind of one by one does make them easier to pick off, I think. And that finishes that. So we've got a couple chests here. Anything interesting? Just some normal stuff. I would open the epic chest, but I'm down to, like, not that much gold. And honestly, I don't know if I'm really going to get much more, except from chests. Because I'm probably not going to spend any more money, considering they're not updating the game. So let's get this match underway here. It is kind of awkward they're running out of gold. It's mostly just because I haven't really opened chests on a daily basis recently, so that has caused me to not really have enough gold for certain things. And right here, I'm trying to think if I should play Necromancer or Black Witch, and I end up playing Black Witch just because I was like, well, it's probably an early game push, and if I can shut down what they had right there, those were two potentially key cards. So I was like, getting rid of them immediately probably is a good thing. But then they start this Dryad push, and I thought 5 skeletons would be enough to get one of the Dryads down, but I think because there were several of them, it didn't work so well. So I just decided to do anything I possibly can because I'm pretty close, and I'm like, well, they don't have much health left. I just need to get a few skeletons on them. And ended up working out. I think the victory chests, I also need to get the victory chest on a daily basis. If I did that, I think I'd have more gold too. So most of the gold has gone away from opening either epic chests or just buying cards in the shop. I mean, not like legendaries, but buying like epics. Usually if there's an epic that's relevant to the deck I normally use, then I will buy the cards for it. Just a couple of them, but still it adds up over time. This is not looking so good this start right here, but I decided to get the Spectre out there. The Ice Elemental is a tough card for this deck to play against, but I managed to actually get rid of it. And, if you're willing to throw enough stuff at cards, even if they're supposedly counter cards, if you throw enough stuff at them, usually you can break through. And now I've got the upper hand here. And the Skull Queen simply adds to it, and at this point I've got the match in my control, and especially when you can get like 2 Skull Queens down, your deck becomes extremely dangerous. So let's jump back in here. And the Necromancer is definitely a card that I'm glad to have. I wouldn't say it's the best legendary card by any means, but it is a really fun card for certain strategies. I should do another video maybe ranking some of the cards as people have suggested. Doing all of them, my only concern with that is that it would be a really, really long video, and there would be so much like discussion about it. I mean, that might be a good thing, but there'd also be a lot of controversial choices, I'm sure, because everyone's priorities are different. Depending on which types of decks you like to use, certain cards are going to seem better. But the Necromancer, I mean, it's 7 mana. There's a lot of waiting for the Necromancer. And if it gets removed and your whole strategy revolves around the Necromancer, then it can be kind of hard to get back into it. And just seeing this Ice Elemental here, I was not thinking I'm going to probably win this match, because I'm already in a situation. That was a mistake. I definitely did not mean to play that there. And we'll see if that comes back to bite me, but I end up going for the Lightning. I just decided to kind of force my way through this player a little bit. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to focus on doing something. So I end up trying to go after the mage because I'm like, I have to clear something off of my castle, and then I got a lucky break in the middle lane, being able to get rid of that stack, and then all of a sudden I'm back in this match in a very strange sequence of events, and now I've suddenly got an advantage with the Skull Queen out there and skeletons pushing their castle. I don't know how that entirely turned around, and I've got 2 resurrections to be able to bring back the Skull Queen in case she goes down, and the Necromancer. I mean, this is what you gotta do with the Skull Queen, is just try and keep bringing her back, because she's so powerful that when she is out there, see how much damage just those few skeletons were doing to my opponent's castle? It's a total game changer. And yeah, bottom lane, they can't stop that. That's gonna get close to finishing them off. Just having the ability to bring back the Skull Queen. Skull Queen with Resurrection is pretty good. It's pretty good. Will I make it to castle level 12? I'm actually kind of close. I didn't really realize this, but I'm actually a lot closer than I thought. I'm really like a couple of upgrades, big upgrades away from castle level 12. Which is kind of cool. I didn't think I was going to get there that soon. And now I'm pretty close. It's definitely a debate here with the Skull Queen deck, like whether I should include the Skull King or not. It's a sort of good finisher card, but with a lot of Skull Queen decks, it's kind of like, well, you kind of want to finish them off quickly. I mean, that's one way to go about it. I could just go mana heavy and then try to finish them off quickly. This is more of kind of like, I was trying to go with sort of like a balanced type of deck with Resurrection. But I have the feeling I was trying to do too many things at once with this deck, and maybe I should have just really gone for trying to dominate the mid game and gotten rid of the Skull King. But of course, Necromancer at 7 mana, you start wondering, is the Necromancer really a mid-game card, or is it borderline late game? Especially considering, you know, you have to combo the Necromancer really with other cards. Then you start thinking, well, maybe Necromancer is late game. Maybe that's a late game card, and maybe it doesn't really fit as well with other cards. Like maybe the Skull King just doesn't fit that well with it. But the Skull, I mean, because the Skull King doesn't really do that much by resurrecting. But it is sometimes a useful card just to have like a tank card in that lane. And this was one of the matches where I got a decent stack actually going, kind of skeletons until that happened. The problem here was they had the Fire Elemental, which is one of the cards that is a nemesis of the Necromancer. Pretty good counter to it. So I just kept going in this match with my Skull Queen attack, trying to focus on bringing her back over and over, because the more time she is up for, even if she's low health, her ability is what's really doing the work here, and that was what was able to get me that win. Lots of people have been asking about my clan in the comments, and the answer is honestly, the clan has been full it's been full since I started it, and I've kicked people out over time and tried to free up spots, but it never really works because there's always more than however many, like 50 people or 30, 40, 50 people who want to join. So there's never really enough spaces for everyone who wants to be in the group, and if I kick someone, then I usually end up finding out later that they're actually still active, and then they're upset about it. So it never, you know, it's never really worked out that well. Some people are like, well, make alternate clans. It's not something I'm going to get involved with at this point. And, you know, I'll kick some people if they look like completely inactive. But if they're not, you know, it's just impossible to fit everyone in, unfortunately, unless they had more space in the clans. So this match here didn't look so good either at the start, because they had the Phoenix behind a Dwarf, which is a pretty tough challenge for this deck, and the Mud Elementals looked intimidating, but honestly, once you get Skeletons and Mud Elementals, they start to wear down pretty quick. And as soon as I got rid of the Phoenix here, the complexion of this match changed quite dramatically. Of course, they do get the middle lane back, but I had... Well, actually, I didn't have very much to hold them off right here. I was thinking about what I wanted to do, and I ended up using the Lightning on the Archer Queen because I thought she was going to be really annoying to get rid of, but it ends up getting me pretty close to going down here in the middle lane. Do I make it? Actually, maybe I lose this one. It gets really close, really close, and I end up getting this clutch Spectre in the middle lane to block the Archer Queen, and I think I win it from here because that's a pretty strong turnaround in all three lanes almost. Not the top lane, but even still. They're trying to counter back with the Mud Elemental, but it's way too late for that. This is the end of the match here. Almost for sure, unless they have Meteor, which they did not. What a win right there. Very close match. And there we go. So I thought that was pretty fun there to get back in with a Spectre deck. So that is going to do it for this video. So leave a like if you enjoyed. Let me know what you thought in the comments about this video and what other types of content I should create. Maybe subscribe if you're new to my channel. And thanks for watching, guys, and stay tuned for more videos.